Good morning, everybody. It is October 15th, and this is Migration 2021. Today, we're going to get right into things today. And what is new this week? We actually have a pretty huge announcement because Intuit made their announcement. So we'll have a few things to go over with that and what their announcement and how that impacts us, you, and the future, as well as if time permits, which today I think we'll have plenty of time. I'm going to do an overview of a few screenshots that we now have. And I don't have any videos to share today, but we will do some screenshots. So that's cool. So let's get in. QuickBooks, what is the plan? What are they going to be doing? Well, the forced migration actually isn't going to happen until the end of May 2022. So there's plenty of time. So that's the relief. We can all, means that while we're still in the migration of starting this new platform and getting you over to that, the previous platform is going to still be available. They are allowing us to voluntarily do that, and you're going to find out shortly why we are definitely not, for all the other reasons that we've already talked about. But there's their quote: through May 2022, rest assured you can continue to run payroll 1099s for yourself and your clients on Intuit Online Payroll as you do today. We know many of you are excited to make this transition. I'm not sure who they're talking to. So we plan to open up an early voluntary transition period from November through May. And then, of course, starting in June 2022, if you haven't been transitioned, then that's going to happen automatically. And as they're saying, well ahead of time, we'll be in touch on the timing for the transition. Our customers are going to be moving over within the next 30 to 45 days, definitely before year end. It's still planned for November 1st migration, and it's still in blocks. So, my warning. This is a quote right off of their email to me. When voluntary transition is open to you and your clients, you'll receive instructions. That could mean you're going to get instructions as well. I don't know what they're going to do, whether they're going to send it directly just to me, or whether or not you'll also see it, or whether it'll actually show up when you log in. It could be in any one of those places. So that's the warning. Be aware that messaging that's coming from the platform is not coming from us. You would get a separate email out of our CRM system that's going to, and everything that we're doing will say Migration 2021. You're going to see potentially other messages coming direct from Intuit. So that's the warning. What I wanted to highlight, and I did highlight, is that last part. You and your clients will be offered the most competitive pricing for their product, QuickBooks Online Payroll. So let's take a look at what the most competitive pricing looks like. Yeah, really? This is competitive pricing. You have to go direct with QuickBooks. Your price, everything is handled directly by them. True Payroll would not be in the mix for any of this. I'm sharing this because it is a competitive product now. They are taking you as a customer and would be moving you over to the QuickBooks Online platform, and the base price. We're going to go through all three of their pricing models, and their base subscription model is called Core, and it is a minimum of $45 a month plus $4 an employee. They're going to be reducing the current multi-state, which is now 15 down to 12, and the workers' comp admin fee would be reduced from $7.50 to $5. And in this product, they're not going to offer you a penalty guarantee. So if something goes awry, they're not guaranteeing it. All they're guaranteeing is the accuracy of the calculation at this point with this particular product. So by way of example, an average employer today has 10 employees. It would cost you $85 a month to use this product. They're the QuickBooks Online Payroll core product. So you can do some of your own math. 10 employees in the True Payroll model is going to continue to be the same price. That would be $50 or $45. I'm sorry, it's because we do it 6 to 10. So you'd be getting a $40 value by sticking with us. Their second subscription level is called Premium. One of the differences that they're doing is same day direct deposit. Well, guess what? We're also going to be offering that. You do get their QuickBooks Time Tracker. I have no idea what program that really is that they're offering. And they remove the workers' comp admin fee. Still no tax penalty guarantee. What's the cost? As you can see, it's $75 base plus 8. So again, now you've had those 10 employees. You are paying 80 plus 75. And that doesn't give you any kind of check printing or any of that stuff. You can still do your own printing, but then that's going to be added cost as well. Direct deposit is included. So it is a cool feature that they're adding with the core, rather with the premium model, but the cost is pretty significant, right? So that's going to be 80 is $155 a month. I don't see the value in it, but somebody might. Their final product is called Elite. And I think the only thing elite about it is the pricing. So that starts at $125 at $10. So what are they giving you for this? Unlimited additional states. For the most part, our customers don't have that as an issue. So that's really little value to 95% of the customer base. 24/7 online support. I got to tell you, that's a whoop-de-doo for me. 24/7 support to the Philippines is basically what they're talking about, because that's where their call center is, and that's where their chat support is essentially located. Not impressed. I will continue to blast that one because their support staff, it's not a personal issue. They're in and out like a revolving door, and I don't know how much training they get, but it's not a lot. I end up training a lot of their chat support when I have to talk to them at this point. So, and you get whatever QB Time Tracker Elite version is. I have no information on that. You do get expert employee setup. What that means, your guess is as good as mine. I suspect you can have employees send their information over to the Philippines by way of a web form of some kind, and they'll do the setup for you. We're already doing that for a bunch of our customers. So you have to determine whether or not you think I'm an expert. So I'd like to think of myself as an expert in that. They're giving you some HR support. If you feel like you need it, it might be worthwhile. But again, an average size employer of 10 is going to pay $225 a month for this. Got to tell you, I would hire Kim Hansen out of KHR Solutions or another HR company to provide that support, because they're going to be a lot more experienced and knowledgeable about industry specific issues versus a generalized support. So I don't see, again, for me, I don't see the value in that. So that's what's coming in terms of what QuickBooks is going to be doing. So it is a huge, significant price increase. And so by comparison, and through payroll, we're still going to be starting at the $40 a month, 1 to 5, and it's still going to go up $5 for every block of 5. So 6 to 10, still the same, 45, 11 to 15, so forth and so on. For the QuickBooks Online model, it's basically starting at $49 up to $65 for that same range of employee. I can't see the value in that, and that's at that core level. I didn't even bother to compare the other two. When it comes to support, it's going to be the same if you stay with True Payroll. It's us. It's our team that will provide you with that support. If you decide to migrate to QuickBooks Online Payroll, because that's still an option for you, the support you get is directly from Intuit and their online chat folks. And you'll be as frustrated with them as I am. Onboarding. our onboarding is going to be completely flexible. So it can be the same as it is today. With the advent of that platform, you'll be able to actually push it out to the employees, and they'll be able to fill out W-4s online, the I-9 online, and state forms if you're outside of Florida. Other states will have their version of W-4s. All that's going to be incorporated online. It's all included in the same exact price. If it's a QuickBooks product, then it is self-serve. You're on your own. Good luck. Penalty guarantee. We continue to offer both the accuracy and penalty guarantee. So if anything ever happens that it's our fault in any way, shape, or form, we will pay any penalties and interest that would accrue on an error of ours. And you go with QuickBooks, their core product, they're not offering it. You have to actually pay that elite price. So at a minimum, you'd be paying $135 a month with one employee just to get a penalty guarantee. So those are the major comparison points. Everything else is pretty much going to stay the same for us, and it's available with the workers' comp is there. They are offering a couple other things as far as Simply Insured is who they're using if you want to have a health policy. So I will give them that. We're not right now going to be getting into the health insurance aspect of trying to offer anything or even bringing anybody in. We have referrals to make if you do want that kind of level of care. So now for some fun. There's a new dashboard. So I'm excited to share that and what that's going to look like. And so very easy to navigate. That was one of the criteria. The current platform, I believe, is actually very user-friendly. We wanted to continue that trend. So as you can see, instead of a top navigation, we're doing it on the side with quick navigation buttons for running your payroll, paying taxes. And a lot of those things are also going to be you'd be able to automate those, even though the button will be there to get to those things. By preference, you will be able to set those to run automatically for you as well. Any suggestions on the dashboard and what you'd like to see on that, we're open to creating that for you as well. What else do we have? The payday screen. I know in the one video we did see this. I wanted to be able to show that. This looks a little bit complex because we just wanted to show in this particular screenshot how many columns. It's n columns. And when we say that, it means you can have as many of those as you particularly want and need within your own business. So if you only have salaried and regular hours, then you may only have 1 or 2 columns appearing on this. If you have more pay types, so I know restaurants that'll tend to have one for a hostess, one for a server, one for a bar back, maybe one for the kitchen, one for the food prep, the runners, and those different things. So they'll show up, and they can, if you so choose, can show up in these columns to make it easier to just go through and enter. One of the improvements that I think is a real critical major improvement, as you go, it saves it. You don't have to worry about if it times out or you lose power, you're not going to lose your work. That was a critical element to the creation of the platform. And one that I know when we're entering stuff for some of our customers, I have a tendency to get distracted by people coming in or phone calls or whatnot and have to deal with other issues as they come up. I get timed out, I lose that work. Like, oh, not that. So that's now resolved with the way that this payday screen operates. And it's a little bit blurry, sorry about that. And mind you, everything that you're seeing on this is fake as far as the names and any personal information. It's all made up. That's what the payday screen will turn into after you've gone through and entered it all and click create. It'll now be this the screen where you can click on this box right here, and it'll click everything, and then you'll be able to approve all, or you can approve individually. If you see that there's a mistake in one, you can highlight that one and not approve it so that it can edit. I really like the way Garrett came up with this particular design. Finally, for today, I'm also excited by this because currently, if you try to use the platform as we have it, it is not scalable. So if I'm on the road and I'm trying to help you when I'm physically not sitting here in the office and I've got my phone, it's constantly, every single time you click on something, it shrinks it back down and you got to blow it back up on your screen. And it's just a pain to use. Ours is 100% scalable to the screen size that you have, whether it's mobile, whether it's a smaller monitor or a large monitor. It's all going to scale exactly to what you get to see. So that's actually a very impressive design on Garrett's part. And so that's it for the updates. And this is the only question that has come through in this week, which is, can I choose to stay with and migrate over to QuickBooks? And so that actually is part of what prompted the earlier part of the session today and going through what those options are and what they're offering. The answer is yes. TruePayroll never holds customers hostage. If there is another system that you find more attracted, you're more attracted to it for whatever your reasons, we'll help you get over to that versus staying here. When it comes to the migration of it, if you want to go, let me know. I can actually make that happen and put you over to QuickBooks Payroll today. While it said it's opening in November, you certainly can. And at that point, just realize that you're not a true payroll customer at that point. You are now a QuickBooks Payroll customer, and all of your resources for support and processing are handled at their end. And at that point, you won't be calling us or texting us for help or support or anything. But if that's what you want to do, by all means, let me know. We will make that happen. Other than that, oh, right, I forgot I put that in there. So there it is. It's a personal choice, and we'll support you in whatever you're going to do. Obviously, we'd love you to stay. The new platform is going to be 1,000 times better than any experience that you could have. At least, obviously, I'm biased, but that's where I'm coming from on that one. And then, so Anthony, you're the only one on with us today. I know a lot of people go and click these for afterwards. So I know you joined a little bit late. So just to recap what we were going through, what I was going through is Intuit made their announcement this week and let all of their users know that the forced migration is not going to happen until June 1st. So we no longer have the pressure of that unknown. They're opening up a voluntary migration period between November and May. And if it hasn't happened by then people are forcibly moved. And then those were the different pricing structures that they're offering. And they call that competitive pricing. And I got to tell you, again, I don't see the value in paying their prices for that. You can either stay with us, or heck, I would, at that point, if I was in the bookkeeping tax game, I would be sending people to Paychex and ADP again with these pricing models. They just provide a better service than does anything QuickBooks related. So.
Okay, so yeah, thanks, Al. Yeah, sorry I was late. I was just running around doing some appointments, couldn't get back to the office in time. So just to get clear then, so the pressure's off to do the migration before the end of this year. Is that what you're saying?
Yes. So that pressure is off.
Are you still going ahead? Are you still going ahead then, kind of as per the plan that you had outlined in previous sessions? Okay.
We definitely are. And part of the reason for that, Anthony, is one, our customers are really the test cases for the use of the product. We will be, now that we know that we absolutely can, there will be a period of time where it runs parallel. So you'll still be entering in the old platform, the current one, and we're going to take your entries and we're going to then duplicate that work. So stuff that you won't see, but we'll be doing that in order to test it, make sure it's okay, doing everything that it needs to do, and that's on us. And then once we see that testing has actually produced the correct results consistently, then you'll get notified, we're ready to go, you're ready to go, we've got your history all done, and let's get her going.
So you're doing that basically company by company, business by business. As you, how many businesses do you have? How many businesses approximately do you deal with, if you don't mind my asking?
It's over 300.
Okay, that's quite a few to work on. Yeah, that makes sense.
It's a lot of work. Yeah.
Oh yeah, no kidding. So the question,
all hands are on deck.
Yeah, I'm familiar with QuickBooks Online because I use it like not for the church, not for my our client. I don't know if I should mention the name online, but for the company I work for in Florida, they use different software for their accounting system, which is more appropriate for what they are. So there's no real true integration between QuickBooks payroll and that software that we use. But I'm familiar with QuickBooks Online because I use it for other businesses outside of that work, and I can see why some people might stick with QuickBooks because of the integration. Is that something does that make sense to you? What I'm saying, like
Absolutely.
if you're integrated because the rest of your accounting system is QuickBooks, and now you lose the payroll unless you as True Payroll can offer a smooth flow of data towards the QuickBooks system, they may feel more comfortable sticking with QuickBooks. That's just my thought, and that probably would explain why people want to stay with them. Am I understanding that right, or was that my interpretation?
So I don't know what actually generated the question. It was the only question. It was only by one customer, and I was actually kind of surprised that it came through. The short answer is, I think it's because of a perception of convenience more than anything, where the ability of our platform to export will still be the same. So
okay,
our customers aren't going to miss out on anything. We're not adding extra work. In fact, it's actually going to get easier for some of our customers because the mapping that we're doing from the platform over to either desktop or online is going to be more extensive. So whereas today there is no ability to go into departments and classes, that's coming. So if you're using departments and classes, that's a function that you'll be able to map. And additionally,
okay, that's interesting. Okay, so in the new software, there's going to be potentially, because right now, just so I explain what I'm doing, I take the spreadsheet that's produced.
The payroll details report?
Yes, I take that detail, and because basically the payroll is pretty well the same employee roster every payroll, I can basically cut and paste the parts, the stuff that I've done to the, I add some columns, and then I take the content from the previous payroll, copy it in, and sometimes it works out. I don't have to do anything. It calculates to the penny my payroll entry for me. Now, if you get a new employee, or if there's some changes in the amounts or deductions, then I might have to tweak it a little bit. But generally, I don't take long. Then I've got my journal entry for my payroll, and I sometimes have that within 5 minutes of taking
so
that
here's
spreadsheet.
an interesting
yeah, go ahead.
Solution for you.
Okay.
Because we actually are in control of how that works. If there is a file format that the software that you're using can accept, let us know.
Okay.
We can create that for you.
Okay. That I don't know if they have that sophistication in the software that we're using. The nice thing about the software I'm using is because the entry for payroll I'm doing twice a month is basically the same entry. All I do is copy and paste, or as a recurring transaction. So then I just create the spreadsheet, which is, like I said, 5 minutes work if there are no issues, or more if there are some changes. But that happens now only a couple of times a year, maybe. Then I get a recurring entry, and I just have to tweak the changes in the recurring entry. So it's actually pretty quick. It doesn't take me very long at all. I'm suspecting that it would probably be harder to do it via some kind of feed, but I'll keep that in mind. You never know, because I'll wait until after we get transitioned over, and then I'll consider it, or maybe we can communicate with each other to see if there is a way to do it.
Because I imagine there's got to be others that are using the same system that would find something like that valuable.
Yeah, there could be. There definitely could be, and if it is true, then we can, certainly let other businesses like ours know what we're doing, so that they can, take advantage of your service, maybe, because
we're flexible in that regard, so we're able to build out those things
Yeah,
other systems just aren't going to do it.
right.
And
So it
our
sounds to
goal
me,
is to create that.
yep. Sounds to me like that makes more sense once you've done the transition, because that's happening anyway. So there's no benefit for us to go to QuickBooks. I can tell you that off the top of my head, because, I need something like that. If I have that spreadsheet, that gives me the continuity. So we are still going to get that kind of a spreadsheet like
Correct.
we're getting now with the detail and all the other, I just download the whole spreadsheet with all the different pages in it as per the review report that is generated now automatically. And then I have everything I need, and I just, within minutes, I have my payroll entry. It's actually, but it took me a long time to get there, right?
Sure.
Because I had to
I
first
can
figure out,
imagine.
well, a year ago, I started in August last year, and I'm coming from Canada. Even though things are similar, they're still different, and I had to get my head around a whole bunch of different terminology. But it's very similar to what we do in Canada. So
One
yeah.
of the things that I think is interesting, Anthony, and so the report as it comes out now, that payroll details report, is aesthetically easy to look at and to review. It's challenging on another sense, because if you just use it as an Excel, right, it's not easy to count on consistency across that file if you have changes in how you're paying employees, right? Because then the fields are all different places and there's no consistency in that report. So one of the
Right.
things that we've discussed is there's a pretty version and then there's a functional version.
Okay.
The functional version is what you're going to want,
Right.
because that will create the consistency so that you can create if you want to add columns or you need to do anything, that becomes something a lot more manageable in order to do that. So that's also been discussed, and it's what we're doing.
Oh, that's awesome. So so that'll be something on my to-do list for when this gets done, probably next year, given that we're almost in November now and you've got to still do the migration. Yeah. Have you started migrating any companies over yet, or still in the?
We haven't. There's a couple pieces of the UI and a couple pieces of the database. Most things have been wired up now, and they're not quite ready. It's still November 1st date. So we did the company did hire a CTO, and that he does start. I think I mentioned that last week. So that's super exciting. And the UI team, the bank connections have all been tested. That's all working great. So that's actually an update too. Yeah, and the bank has been just awesome to work with. The
awesome.
The tax engine, we're getting ready to test all of that with the history. One of the biggest challenges that we've actually had is because of that payroll details report. That's the functional piece of work that comes either out of QuickBooks Online, desktop, or the current platform that we have. So parsing that information and getting it so that we can read it. We can't sit back and plausibly do over 300 customers and enter all that history by hand. So it was a matter of downloading those and creating an import routine that could actually parse and read and create associations around all of everything. And so when it found something new too, it had to be able to create. So these guys have, Kevin and team have worked, I don't know how many hours they've got into that particular process.
Yeah.
And it's all designed to allow anybody using those systems to go. And I actually have a video to produce for, not for this particular update, but I have one that will be producing for more of a marketing side on, here's the steps that you need if you're tired of dealing with this, or you don't want to pay those prices, or your customers don't want to pay those prices. All you got to do is run these 3 reports and copy these 3 screens in this format like this. And then we can import that in a matter of seconds. And you're basically 98% of everything is set up automatically.
Gotcha.
So it's been quite the process for these guys to build that out. I'm willing to bet
that
they have near 200 hours probably just on that process.
Oh yeah, that's huge, but it's going to allow everybody to get on board and future clients to get on board. I totally understand where you're going with that. I have enough experience with computers to understand what you're talking about.
I know enough to be dangerous. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
so
well,
these guys get going like, What?
Yeah, I bet. I bet. Are you tech background yourself, or what are you background?
YouTube University.
Oh, you
Mostly.
learned all this on your own. Okay. Okay.
Most of it, yeah. I never went to school for understanding I mean, what these guys do is computer coding. I mean, it's language. It's
Yeah, I
learning
know.
a whole different type of land. That's not my forte.
What is the language you're actually coding in for the true guts of True Payroll?
So it's being built out in what's called JSON.
JSON? How's that spelled?
JSON, JSON.
JSON? Okay.
Yep. And it's on an AWS. We're now on the AWS cloud platforms, tech stack with a MySQL
Okay.
server set up
Server,
for the
okay.
database. And beyond that, I don't actually understand all of the nuances of all the other parts of the connections that they're deploying. And it's pretty darn cool.
Cool. I gotta let you go because I got a call coming in, but great chatting with you.
Very
I'll see
good.
you next week.
All right.
Yeah.
Thanks for
Oh, I might
joining,
be
Anthony.
traveling next week, so I may not be able to attend. Okay.
It will be online.
All right. Thank you, sir.
All right. You got it. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
And with that, we will conclude this week's session. We'll be back next week for another installment of Migration 2020. If you'd like to watch these videos at any time, go to truepayroll.com/launch, and these will be there. This will be up in moments. Everybody, have yourself a wonderful day. Bye-bye.